Matt and Luke's Sci-Fi Sanctuary.
The year is 3013. The galaxy is scintillating in the mellow light. Two galactic pilgrims seek out vistas in the samurai future to bring forth the unity of the cosmic shaman. Opening the door of the pantheon of mystics, the evil sorcerer wizard powers the engine of science, seeking to forever alter the sacred balance, traveling on effervescent balls of summer fire.
This week, the Valley of Gwangi.
In the year 1969, my parents were born. Man walked on the moon, and cinema reached its peak.
Summer of 69, which I think was about something different, if I'm correct.
Also, wasn't he like...
He was like 10
He was
years
actually
old.
like 12 in the summer of 69, yeah.
Yeah. that Bryan Adams, that little scamp.
That's the music you bang to.
That's the music you're 69 to.
You know, I've never been that into the 69.
No, it's
Like, if I'm eating a girl out, I want to concentrate on it.
it's not
And
a
if she's
pickup
doing
line.
the same to me, I want her to... Like, the 69, it's like... It's an amusing concept when you're 12, but it's not really gratifying for either party.
Yeah, that makes me wonder more about Bryan Adams' psych, but we're not going to get too deep into that because today we're taking a walk into the valley of Gwangi.
Yes.
It's got a monster in it. Should you talk about monsters a bit?
Yes, so as I may have mentioned on one or two other podcasts, my other podcast, Monster Mash, which is about the monsters from Monster Hunter, is back. And if you're in a country which has cinemas, the Monster Hunter movie is coming out at the end of this month. So we're going to do a month of monster podcast, a bit of a monster special. So you'll notice some monster-related movie podcasts in your feed. Also, you might have unbidden into your feed some old episodes of Monster Mash to get you to wet your whistle. Cross-promotion, synergy.
And who is going to do all this talking about monsters?
I'm Luke.
I am Matt.
And you are in the Sci-Fi...
Gravel pit.
I was going to go Sci-Fi Valley.
Oh, okay. We are recording this in a valley. It's not a forbidden valley. It's more of
A very welcoming and lovely valley.
it's a rugby valley.
Yeah, big old rugby pitches.
Some colors changing, some snow dappled on the tops. It's not Mexico. I'll
It's
tell you
cool.
that.
We got like green, and then we got like the bare ones, then we got the orange ones, then we got the snow.
Yeah.
Picturesque.
Yeah, we should. We're not a visual podcast, are we?
Yep.
Gwangi. Yeah, you heard about this movie, and then kind of just pointed at my one. I was like, yeah, sure, why not?
Well, I heard about it in weird ways because I've watched many like YouTube compilations or like cheapo TV documentaries of like dinosaurs in cinema, and this one always came up, but I didn't know anything about it. I just knew it. Oh, it's the weird film where there's dinosaurs and cowboys. And then the other day, just on a whim, I watched a 10-minute YouTube video of like history of dinosaurs in cinema. I sent the link to Matt and was like, by the way, we're doing every one of these films eventually. And then I remembered we've talked about before, when I was a kid, I would always videotape monster movies that were playing at like 2 a.m. And Matt said he used to videotape all the cowboy movies that were playing at 2 a.m. I thought, well, Valley of Gwangi, it's both.
Yeah, there we go.
But that was literally all I knew about it. I knew it was a dinosaur film with cowboys in it.
Now, this is a little unverified. I was talking to Scott, our guest from a few weeks ago, and the opening. Anyway, I mentioned, we're doing this Valley of Gwangi thing. I never heard of it. So, my dad loved the comic. Like, apparently, I don't know if it was a comic.
The comic was a spin-off of the film.
Oh, okay. So anyway, he was.
But the film has an interesting history because the guy who did the effects for King Kong, Miles Bryan, I think he is. Wait, or is that just the guy from Star Trek?
Miles O'Brien.
It has a similar name to that.
Okay, a guy sort of like Miles O'Brien. We don't know if he's, in any other way like him, but
he wanted to make this film. He had the idea of doing a dinosaur film with cowboys because the plot is basically King Kong.
yes.
And he was shopping it around, and around the time he wanted to do it, the studio was like, no, audiences don't want to see dinosaurs anymore. And he ended up making Mighty Joe Young
How
instead.
could they say that?
Because they're idiots. We all know studios are idiots. And then, so his, like, protege was Ray Harryhausen. And then Harryhausen eventually did get to make this film. But then again, it was kind of screwed over by the studio because, like, there was, like, a buyout or something midway through, and it just got dumped in cinemas with, like, no promotion.
Right. But
so it's a film which was entirely unsuccessful but has a cult following.
We definitely get our Harryhausen fix here.
I had no idea it was Harryhausen until we watched it, and I was okay, I'm in for a treat.
You saw my notes. I didn't know it either. I just wrote his name with exclamation points 3 times.
Yeah. I love Harryhausen stuff, but he didn't do that many dinosaurs.
No, he's more like the Greek myths, right?
Yeah, but he did do this 1 million BC, or 10,000 BC, whatever it is, and he did like a documentary one.
Yeah.
But yeah, otherwise it's all Greek myths and aliens and other kinds of monsters.
I mean, if you remember when we did King Kong, I was like disappointed. Oh, I thought Harryhausen was actually like involved here.
But he was like 10 when King Kong came out.
Yeah,
but that's what inspired him to take up stop motion.
Yeah, we got that. But yeah, here we are with it. I think this is our first time properly encountering him. So
yeah, and it's a good one.
Shall we get into the story then?
Yeah, take us through the Valley of Gwangi.
Wild West cowboy Tuck Kirby goes looking for his former flame, TJ Breckenridge, south of the border, Mexico way. She's trying to get her own rodeo started with star attraction, El Diablo, which is a very tiny horse. The local soothsayer is not down with this, however, and has the locals steal the horse and take it back to the forbidden valley from which it came. See, it is bad luck to take creatures out of the Forbidden Valley. Tuck, TJ, the local buckaroos, and visiting scientist Professor Bromley disagree, however, and head into the valley, finding honest-to-God Harryhausen dinosaurs. They manage to snag a T-Rex and bring it back to town to get a few pesos from the town folks, Kong style. The T-Rex, now named the Great Gwangi, breaks out of its cage with the help of one of the soothsayer's cronies and goes dino shit. Tuck corrals the dinosaur into the local cathedral and burns that mother down. Is this a happy ending?
The kid's like crying.
I know.
Magic's ripe on spirit ropes. Lest the shady lilac nights. Sorry, curling layered slopes. Revealing diamonds hidden bright.
James Franciscus, is it?
Yeah.
That is a name.
I'll tell you what's also a name, Tuck Kirby.
I know. I put, what did I write near the beginning of my notes?
You've got to tuck your Kirby.
Oh, you gotta tuck your Kirby, yeah. With like the best suit ever, as we said off mic just before, but we gotta mention it here. Man, what a fantastic suit.
I need to get me a white cowboy suit and just stroll into work like Colonel Sanders.
If we both show up the same day of the suits, they can't say anything, right?
I mean, well, why would they say anything anyway?
It's in the dress code. It's within dress code boundaries. I just, an old employer, someone else said they went through training with them, and there was some dude that just showed up in like a green blazer every day and like slowly was like fired.
No, I show up in all kinds of different colored suits all the time. So.
Oh yeah, I'm down with the colors, but yeah.
Okay, Joe Biden.
So we're gonna make the the colors of the suit.
I know, it's just the phrase, I'm down with the colors. Yes, you caught something there. But yeah, we got to spend time with like the boring humans for a bit first, because obviously I went into this film like, I just want to see dinosaurs. But actually it was a surprisingly fun little character role.
But I did enjoy the, like, idiotic attempts at humor at Son of Kong in the first half, not seeing anything interesting more than here, I think.
I guess, yeah.
But, I mean, you know, the little horse is fun. Oh, yeah, this is, we can skip to the end, but yeah, they animated an elephant? I guess
Just because it had to fight
the
the,
okay.
Another Harryhausen film does that as well. 20 Million Miles to Earth.
Okay. I'm just
the monster fights an elephant in that. And so it has a real elephant, then suddenly cuts to a stop motion one.
That's probably a mammoth, though. No,
No,
a real
20
elephant.
million miles to Earth. Yeah.
Oh, miles. Sorry, I was thinking of the BC again. Okay.
Yeah.
There we go. The professor, Bromley, sorry, I didn't actually get the actor's name, but...
I screenshotted all the names just in case.
Okay, there we go. Let's throw his name out for fun.
Lawrence Naismith.
Okay. He's like a proto-Doc Brown. He even gets like a great Scott out.
Yep.
And then right after that, My George.
Yeah, what? No, are you sure you didn't mishear it? And it's By George?
Oh, maybe.
Because that is an old-timey English.
Yeah,
By George.
that is. I heard My George.
Would George have been the king at the turn of the century? I can't remember. I don't care.
Madness of King George. Is the mad one the last one? Because that's the 18th century.
No. The one right before the current queen was King George.
You're asking an American, by the way.
Yeah, and I don't even care. I don't know why you would.
So, TJ's fun.
Yeah, I mean, there was good chemistry between her and Kirby.
Yeah.
But, like, why is she into him? He's a prick. Like, he's very fun to watch. He's a lovable,
he's
like,
a charming prick.
Yeah. But, like, she has no... Well, I mean, he saves that kid, right? But otherwise, he is still, like, a real shit to her.
Yeah, well, she is... I mean, she's definitely in the Carney camp, which... You know, who knows the psychology that goes on. I'm not saying like, carnies. I'm saying you live in that sort of environment. Yeah, your brain's going to be working a little differently.
But yeah, she just travels from town to town, jumping a horse off things. Like, she's not the usual.
You know, I taught environmental education for years, like bumming around, like hanging with hippies. You know, the world was different then, man.
Yeah.
In the early 2000s. Sorry, when I said that, sounds like the 60s. But
Yeah. I feel like we moved off Tuck Kirby a little too quick. He's a great leading man.
Yeah.
Like, he's
With
got
a perfect
charming,
name.
wry smile. He's also really buff and can do action stuff.
I finally got around to watching Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Right.
And I really kind of felt like James Franciscus, like, is the...
The stuntman from that?
Not the stuntman.
The DiCaprio's character?
Yeah, DiCaprio's character. And then, of course, Brad Pitt would be there, too, so as a stuntman.
Right.
Did you watch that, by the way?
No, but I've heard pretty much every beat of that film from May.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Maddie's not me, but... But, I somehow didn't. It's a weird watch. It's not my favorite Tarantino, but it's one of those things, like, a week later, you're like, I think I like that more than I thought I did at first.
Okay. I'm not super into Tarantino to begin with.
Okay.
So.
And if you watch that movie, you, like, totally need to be familiar with the whole Manson story.
Right.
In the conspiracies of the Manson
right?
stories.
So,
okay.
Yeah.
Because they just don't. Like, if you don't know about it and you watch it, it's like, what's going on?
I'd forgotten it had a Manson element. I do actually want to watch it mostly for that.
Yeah. Okay. I think you have it.
Maybe.
Are we finished with Tuck then? Are we going to Tuck?
Yeah, I
Tuck.
just wanted to say that, like, going into it not expecting anything from the humans, he was very fun to watch.
Yeah, I mean, it's a almost brightly colored film, except it's in the desert, which takes some of the color out. But yeah.
And the Mad Professor is very much Mad Professor.
Yeah. I just like the he's a proto Doc Brown. I mean, did they even watch this? Probably not. But
No.
you know, or maybe.
Spielberg apparently did, because he included smart homages to it in the Jurassic Parks.
In fact, this is there a major like dinosaur thing between this and Jurassic Park? They kind of gave up after this, didn't they?
Yeah, I can't think of any others. And yeah, this T-Rex is real good.
Because to my mind...
Well, there's quite a few animated ones after this. You like Land Before Time and stuff.
Because I'm thinking... I'm not talking animated.
That's what I mean. We don't really go live action again until...
Because we got Lost World, like, crap dinosaurs. I mean, fun, but crap dinosaurs. King Kong, where they're, like, you know, effects and awesome. And
yeah.
I mean, it's almost the same here, just in color.
So between this and Jurassic Park, it was all Japanese dinosaurs. But that was the decades where Japan ruled monster films, right?
Right. And they're crushing Tokyo, so we don't think dinosaur immediately.
Yeah. So yeah, we didn't really have a Western monster film again until Jurassic Park.
Yes.
But yeah, I think... Well, I mean, are we done with humans?
Probably.
You've got a lot of racial stereotypes. You've got the kid was fun.
Yeah, I
Lopi, was that his name?
Yeah, I
Lope?
wrote Short Round Mark 1.
Yeah. But yeah, I liked him. He hustles in for some money at the start. He has some good lines.
He's definitely Short Round.
But yeah, he's there so that there's a kid for you to worry about in the monster scenes.
Maybe
basically.
there's a Spielberg connection. If Spielberg was into this, like I imagine on Temple of Doom, he was probably thinking this kid.
Probably,
because it's
yeah.
very similar.
Yep.
I mean, I don't think Short Round cries because Short Round's too cool for that.
But
He screams at horrible things. But you know, when people are ripping hearts out of bodies, I mean, you could scream at that. That's cool.
he doesn't cry until Gwangi dies, though, right?
Oh, yeah, it's the end of the movie. Yeah, he's hustling through most.
See, that's the dividing line between good monster content and bad monster content. Is you have to feel a little sad for the monster.
Exactly. At the end, I'm like, this is crap. Gwangi, he was just doing his thing in the valley, eating a T-Rex. Not a T-Rex, oh God, Triceratops, you know, that's what he does. It's cool.
But like,
same with Kong. You know what? In a weird way, I did feel more for Gwangi than Kong, because Kong's surrounded by weirdness. Kong is surrounded by giant spiders, if you want, dinosaurs.
Yeah.
Gwangi's just, I mean, I don't know about where that miniature horse came from, but Gwangi's just, he's in dinosaur land. And they just take him out.
Well, the
Dinosaur
miniature
Land.
horse is a real historical creature as well. Right?
Okay. But anyway, yeah, Gwangi was in dinosaur land. There was nothing particularly weird except that it was there, right?
Yep.
And just, you know, literally ripped out of dinosaur land and then meets a horrible ending.
Yeah.
I kind of feel for him more than Kong in a way, which is even without the, human face. We throw him in as an actor. We're doing actors. Gwangi's an actor, a stop-motion actor.
Yeah. Well, he's the title character and
Right.
probably the best character in the film. And yeah, he's such a good dinosaur.
Yeah. You're a good dinosaur, Gwangi. But I don't know. How about you? Do you feel more for Gwangi or Kong's plight?
I might. If we're literally just talking like 33 Kong, right?
Yeah.
Probably Gwangi.
Yeah.
Because maybe it's the fact that Kong is a little more human. And because he is shown to be somewhat intelligent, somewhat humanoid.
And he's got a predilection for blondes, obviously.
Yeah. Well, yeah, Gwangi doesn't steal any women. No one's making sacrifices to Gwangi. Yeah, Gwangi is just an animal, right? And they very much depict him as just an animal who's panicked because he's not where he's meant to be. So yeah, everything that happens to him is tragic.
Yeah, this is a sad movie when you start thinking about it.
But yeah, I think the director of King Kong originally said that's what makes a good monster. Is, yeah, it's monstrous and scary and bad, but also it's sad to be a monster. And, that's what the best monster films give you. Godzilla gives you that.
Yes.
Godzilla has to die, but you still feel sad when he dies at the end.
Well, the worst thing about Gwangi is he's not a monster in his natural setting.
No. Yeah, like the dinosaur. Well, dinosaurs are such great movie monsters because they were real.
Right.
And yeah, when he was around, he was just he was a wolf. Like, there's
It's a
nothing monstrous
conspiracy,
about
man. God put the bones in the ground to trick you.
The climate change freaks put it there to try and convince you that fossil fuels are bad.
Yeah. Although this one does have all the it's so reptilian. He's like a reptilian. So now, I mean, really, if you want to make a dinosaur movie now, do you have to make them look like birds?
Well,
Jurassic World
pussies out on it.
They pussied out and they made an excuse, but I feel like you can only do that once. Like next time someone wants to do some like real like dinosaur stuff, they're gonna have to put feathers on them.
Yeah. Well, some things like Monster Hunter started doing it pretty well.
Okay.
And you can make a feathered one look cool.
I'm sure you can.
It's just because it's not what we're used to.
No, we're just like that whole snake vibe, right?
Yeah, but like Alfred Hitchcock's The Birds, right? Birds can be scary. Like, birds are pretty aggressive and stuff. Just give us a big bird.
Oh, come on, there's some great horror movies along those lines. There's one that's The Mangler.
The Mangler?
It stars Robert Englund, who is Freddy Krueger, out of that makeup, of course. It's about a printing press or something it's like a laundry press that mangles people. But you actually have to like go and like start exploring the laundry press. It's kind of passive.
Right.
Like you kind of have to, what's going on in here? Ah!
So it's just a film about industrial accidents. It's just a feature-length shake hands with danger.
Yeah, right. There's Motel Hell, right? Silent Night, Deadly Night, Santa Claus comes to kill you.
Have you seen The Flying Claw?
Come on, that's scarier than the mangler.
Yeah, I know.
That's a flag claw. Fuck.
It's just a big fucking vulture that attacks airplanes.
See, I was just like the claw, just a claw,
Yeah,
right?
I always assumed that when I heard it. See, I think we can have a proper bird dinosaur film. I want to see it happen.
White passage eastward until you had dwelled. Saw spectral ash falls, fantastic they fell. Borderlands of reality, light seeds that I sow. Escaping attention.
Shit, have we covered the whole film already?
Well, there's cowboys and Indians in the worst way. I guess I think we kind of like this movie, but let's just poop on it in a few, I guess, dated ways, just for
Right.
fun, because hopefully we're like already made you interested in watching it. So we'll tell you about a few of the weird things. The cowboys and Indians here.
Are they actually Indians? I thought they were just like Spanish immigrants.
They are. That's the point.
Yeah.
At the end of the movie, when they're coming in, the ticket takers are all in the like most racist stereotype like Indian costumes possible, whereas the people giving the tickets are all in like, you know, kind of white plainclothes sort
Right.
of what you're talking about. So yeah, it's like they're really.
But
okay,
I think they were meant to be like, it's a cowboy and Indian show.
yeah, they're the
They're
carnies.
meant to be like that.
Yeah, those are the carnies. It's, you know,
Because I don't think
Buffalo
this film
Bills.
features a single actual Native American.
No. Are any of these actors? I guess actually, where did they film this? You wikied this before we did this.
Just I think it was genuinely filmed just like down in California and Mexico.
Okay, they got into Mexico then.
I actually can't remember off the top of my head.
That's kind of my wonder here, because I'm thinking, okay, probably just California, but I'm wondering if they actually did get into Mexico and actually, because I mean, some of the locals looked about right.
Yeah. It's not unbelievable that they would film in
Yeah. Oh, but
Mexico.
yeah. You got a location for us?
Oh, calm your tits. It's filmed in the Valley of Gwangi. You know that.
Yeah. It's the Forbidden Valley, man. They're like just mixing their metaphors.
Oh, it's forbidden because Gwangi lives there. I don't think the characters named it Gwangi. I think it was already named Gwangi.
Oh, okay. I just remember hearing Forbidden Valley, but maybe they couldn't deal with those like weird sounding.
Because right at the start she says, "Oh, never take from Gwangi."
Oh, okay. The valley, not the dinosaur himself. Gotcha. Okay, anyway, Wiki might not be so keen on the location. That's fine. I feel like they might have slipped south of the border a touch and then put like slathered like patriotic music over everything. Like the soundtrack is like marching bands.
Yeah. I mean, to me, that's just what this kind of cowboy movie is supposed to sound like. And it kind of worked.
Yeah,
To me, it just sounded like adventure film stuff.
I'm gonna pour another 40 for Enrico Morricone.
Okay, yeah.
Because
This is definitely not. No, but this isn't that kind of Western.
it's not.
This is like turn of the century, happy-go-lucky cowboys. This isn't like in the dirt fighting for your life cowboys.
Yeah.
Until the dinosaurs
Well,
show
we
up.
got that orchestrated 30s stuff, you know,
Yeah.
in the ones I used to tape from 3 a.m. or whatever. Sorry. I see where this didn't come up when we were doing the actors, but Proto Dinklage.
Oh, the little... Well, just because he's a dwarf?
But his face looked very Dinklage too.
Did it? Oh, it didn't to me.
Okay.
But I guess I didn't look at him that much.
Yeah, and then his freeing Gwangi, that doesn't work out well for him. Because he's carefully freeing Gwangi and then instantly gets eaten by Gwangi.
Yeah.
It's like, wow, I guess he wasn't being, well, that's why he was being careful, and it didn't work out in the end. So, but that's a difference from Kong, right? Kong breaks out due to
Oh, okay. I'm dead wrong. It's filmed in Spain.
Oh, it's a paella.
Yeah.
It's a paella monster.
Paella Western.
Okay.
But yeah, the film was filmed in Spain.
Oh, crazy. Okay. Well,
Makes sense why there's a bunch of Spanish actors around.
yeah, that fits where the locals seemed about right. I mean, you go up in the mountains, you can do that, I guess. Okay, there we go.
Oh yeah, there are some valleys and stuff around here where we could film a cowboy
Well,
film. And no one would
that
know.
actually pushes the Once Upon a Time in Hollywood button, like for DiCaprio, like even harder then, because they have him going off to make spaghetti western. So
Oh, no. Oh, yeah.
James Francesca's gotta remember what his character's name. It might even be real similar to that. Maybe that is the actual template. Tarantino obviously likes to roll from weird places. It's like our stealth Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, even though you didn't watch it.
Yeah. Well, I don't think you can convince anyone that one's sci-fi. So
No, it's not sci-fi.
if you want to say your piece, you do it.
That's why I'm doing it now.
Oh, you know what we haven't talked about yet?
What's that?
They killed a pterodactyl with his bare hands.
Oh yeah, that was awesome. I do have a note about that. What is it?
I want to wrestle a pterodactyl, is what you wrote.
Yeah, and I said, and I wrote, is it the chupacabra? Because it's stealing kids, right?
Yeah. Yeah, basically the first dinosaur, well, prehistoric, apart from the little horse, we see on screen. A pterodactyl flies in, steals a child, then Tuck Kirby jumps on its back and snaps its neck. They don't need a King Kong in this film because Tuck Kirby's their King Kong.
There we go. So, I was noting this isn't like that big a valley. It's got a pretty high dino fatality rate. I mean, they're all going to kill each other in like a week. How have they been there for millions of years?
I guess we just don't see all of the valley, but
yeah,
it goes underground, Hollow Earth, man.
Oh, okay. There we go. That makes sense. Sorry. One more thing on Tuck Kirby. His suit. Yeah. I just thought that the white suit makes sense.
Right.
That's cool, right? Later on, he's like in his like Montana cowboy suit.
Yeah.
Mexico, what? That's stupid. You're gonna die. Like that's how that's how most of the Crusaders probably died, and they deserved it.
Oh, for dressing like that in Mexico.
No, the Crusaders wearing full on chainmail and
right.
stuff, and then rolling into Palestine, right? And then dying of heat exhaustion.
Oh, I see. Right.
But I'm not feeling bad for Crusaders. But I'm gonna feel a little bad for the cowboy that has the wrong attire in Mexico.
I mean, maybe it's good at night.
I'm sure it's good at night, but this is the middle of the day in the middle of the desert with no cover.
He does seem really hot because he's constantly trying to get water and pouring it over himself.
Right.
So he didn't think this through.
Spain's pretty hot too. Oh yeah, I also wrote I want to fire wrestle a T-Rex, but not the Mark Bolan kind. T-Rex, Mark Bolan. Bang a gong.
I don't know.
Get it on, bang a gong, get it right.
I mean, I've heard that song. I didn't know it was T-Rex.
The band's T-Rex and the
Nice.
singer's Mark Bolan. But
I think my
fire
dad had
wrestling
some
dinosaurs.
T-Rex CDs.
Yeah. I love how one attempt to ward off Gwangi, and hey, maybe this is like him trying to actually have a heart. Is he just kept throwing things at him?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if a T-Rex is coming after me. Here's a pole. I'm going to throw the pole at you. I finally figures out to throw the sharp end of the pole at him, so that's cool. But
it did amuse me the first time they make Gwangi. They did the classic thing. They shoot at the dinosaur. It doesn't do anything. Turns out it's because they're shooting blanks from a stunt show.
That was great.
That was a good.
And then, like a stunt show, right? Well, let's lasso it.
Well, basically, the premise of this film was we want a scene of cowboys lassoing a dinosaur. Everything else was written out from there.
So why did Fulver, if I'm saying his name right, what's the director's name? Happy?
Harryhausen?
No. I'm talking about the Cowboys versus Aliens. movie. I guess that's Aliens. That's why. But this does it better, doesn't it?
Oh, this does it way better. I can't remember who directed it. I know Daniel Craig was in it.
It's Iron Man director, Jon Favreau.
Oh, Jon Favreau?
Thank you. I couldn't pronounce his last name.
Oh, I see. You were saying Happy because he plays Happy.
Yeah. I was trying to speak in code that you'd understand, but you didn't. Anyway, that movie, I think, satisfied no one.
That one was based on a comic book.
Yeah. Was comic book
because it didn't lean into either side enough.
Yeah.
It didn't go full cheesy cowboy, which is what you want, right?
Uh-huh.
It tried to be modern and cool, which is not what you want when you go to a film called Cowboys versus Aliens.
And then Harrison Ford's acting choice was, why am I here again?
I didn't even remember Harrison Ford was in it, so that tells you.
I wasn't sure when I said it, but I think he's in it and clearly wants to be somewhere else the entire time.
Yeah.
Which to be honest, Harrison Ford does that in half of his movies.
Yeah, I know.
The other half he's great. And the other half he's like, why am I here? Damn it. I want to get stoned and fly an airplane.
Yeah.
And crash it.
But yeah, I feel if this film revels in its cowboyness, they lasso a T-Rex, they yeehaw, they do jumps and stuff.
Yeah.
If it had been more like that, then Cowboys vs Aliens could have been fun.
Yeah.
If it had ended with a proper high noon showdown, lean into it.
No, I have my notes. Well, hell, I guess you can lasso a T-Rex. Takes a darn long time, though.
But yeah, that's what every time I'd seen this film in like a compilation, it's always that bit.
There's a guy that looks like
the
Tommy
iconic
Lee
image.
Jones as well.
Champ?
Maybe it's Champ. You got the names down. Okay, just throwing out since I got my dinklage in.
Yeah, like the older fella who owns the rodeo and he tries to protect TJ from this like sleazebag who's trying to bang her.
I guess he's not wrong. He's just an asshole.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have the T-Rex Triceratops battle. And it's like this dino battle is like literally a scene in Disneyland. You pass by it on the railroad. In Tokyo and California. Well, California, I've heard, I've never been there. But Tokyo, you can go to Tokyo Disneyland. Yeah, there's your reason to go to Tokyo Disneyland. Ride the railroad.
Some dinosaurs.
Past the dinosaurs, yes.
Yep.
We all knew Carlos would be the first to get eaten somehow.
I did like the because in the film the professor convinces them to steal the horse because he wants to find out where the horse came from. Tuck chases them, and everyone assumes Tuck was involved in stealing the horse.
Yeah.
So the bit where they finally all back together, and he's like, "I'm not taking orders from a horse thief," and Tuck just clocks him one on the jaw.
I mean, it's a reasonable assumption to make.
Yeah.
Because Tuck is a bit of a sleazebag.
Yeah.
But this crew, I did write that this crew is a lot more on point than the Skull Island crew when you think about it. Hell, they only lose one person, right?
Yeah.
So good for them. There's a difference than Kong.
Well, also, like, they're mostly not motivated by, like, outrageous greed.
Yeah.
Like, at the end, they steal Gwangi, which was wrong, but they just wanted a little horse for their show, like... the professor, maybe, but he just, like... He was doing science for the wrong reasons, man. He was doing it for a knighthood.
Yeah, oh, jeez. Yeah, that went right by me. I think I actually did write a note on that, but, yeah. Oh, yeah, I just wrote ooh la la, knighthood. Ooh la la! It's like, really? That's your motivation?
Put your clothes on. Ooh la la.
There's more to life than that, dude. Come on. At least a noble. Come on.
Yeah.
You get money from that. I guess you probably get money. Well, you have money if you get a knighthood, I suppose.
Yeah. No one living check to check is getting a knighthood.
We do not give the commoners a knighthood. Well, they do not give the commoners a knighthood.
I've always wanted to be offered a knighthood just so I can turn it down. I feel like being a guy who turned down a knighthood is 10 times better than being a knight.
It's pretty much John Lennon.
Yeah.
Well, no, he gave his MBE back before they could offer him the knighthood. Yeah, same idea. Oh, yeah. While we're thinking of the smaller parts of this world, the world tour is only Europe and America. I thought that was fun.
Yeah.
We're going on a world tour. We're going to go to Berlin and Paris and New York and San Francisco.
That is the world.
So, yeah, there was that. Oh, here's a weird one. Again, I'm just riffing from my notes, so I'm like just splatter painting everywhere, right?
Yeah.
For weirdly, the climax, like, made me think of The Last Jedi.
Oh?
Because they're all in the cathedral, right? With the intense force outside. And they all
because it's kind of like a siege scene. Yeah.
They kind of all escape through the back door, right?
Yeah.
So it just made me... Well, in Last Jedi, everyone escaped through the back door, but...
Yeah.
Which they should have, because they had one more sequel, but...
Did they?
Nah. But yeah, I did that. And then, you know, I've been to Spain and Notre Dame in France, and, you know, seeing the cathedral was cool, because, well, they're in Spain, okay? So I was thinking, do they actually have, like, ones that look like this in Mexico? No, they don't. It's in Spain. And then I do like to think when Notre Dame burned down, a year and a half ago, that it did happen this way.
Oh, there's a dinosaur in there?
Yeah.
They're trying to kill it?
Yeah.
Nice. Okay, for your money, what's the best kind of on-screen monster? Is it your stop motion? Is it your man in suit? Is it your CG? Is it pure animatronic puppets?
I think I've come on before saying man in suit.
Okay. I'm trying to think, because I've loved examples from all different kinds, right?
And let me quantify that. Of course, Man in Suit Godzilla. I'm totally down with that. Man in Suit Doug Jones. I mean, I guess it's prosthetics too.
Oh yeah.
He's got Pan's Labyrinth. He's got Sato and Star Trek. I mean, not calling Sato a monster, but he's got the look.
Well, like
right?
Xenomorph, right? That's a man in suit.
Yeah. So I think for me it's Man in Suit in the end.
Okay.
Yoda's cool as a puppet, but he's a Muppet. Muppet's a little different.
He's
Muppet's not a
Muppet.
monster.
Yeah.
And when he's not a Muppet, he sucks. So
Yep. The Rancor quite often is just like a big ass puppet.
that's very Harryhausen.
Yeah, it's also stop motion in other scenes.
Yeah.
I think my heart does say stop motion. I love seeing stop motion monsters. They never convince though.
If I were making a movie, I think I would have like a fantastic time doing it as stop motion.
I used to make lots of stop motions with my action figures.
Like I said before, like sometimes effects are crap, but you can like feel like the kind of
Yeah, I think that's where I am with stop motion.
yeah. And Harryhausen's like one of the best for that because just like when you see this, you just
The artistry is
see Harryhausen back behind the camera like I know no
yeah, he's having
the
the time of his life.
right. So in that way, yes, the stop motion creature. That's the charm of this film. Is Gwangi a convincing dinosaur? Not at all. But it's just, is he an imaginative dinosaur with character?
Yeah, he's got so much character.
Again, Kong has tons of character, So with the weird, I don't know. I guess that's not stop. Well, it is stop motion sometimes. So yeah. Again, I guess in the end, especially. A variety of effects is best, even now. I mean, you wouldn't want to CG it all either, right? You want to have a nice mixture of things.
Oh, yeah. It's like, when it's interacting with human beings, you don't want to use CG. You want puppets and animatronics and stuff.
We'll get to these movies, but I watched Shin Godzilla, I watched Final Wars.
Oh, you watched Shin?
Yeah.
Oh, we definitely need to do a podcast on that soon.
Okay.
Straight up, man.
Yeah.
And especially now that we both have worked in Japan.
Yeah, it is Monster Month, so maybe we'll have to. Yeah, okay, with Shin, we'll do Shin.
It's coming up.
Anyway, I liked both of them quite well. Very different movies, of course. And God damn, I lost my point.
Oh, sorry.
Man in
Final
Suit.
Wars and Shin, Man in Suit, stop motion.
Stop motion.
Using a variety of effects.
They do an okay job with that. Yeah. Honestly, I lost my original point, except,
How is Godzilla done in Shin Godzilla?
I think a lot of... I think it is a mixture. That's my point.
Yeah, I don't think they actually made a suit.
No,
They used CG to convince you it was a man
capture.
in suit, which is so bizarre.
Yeah, they did motion capture, didn't they? So, but yeah.
I think for the longest time, CGI would have just been straight up bottom of my list. We're finally getting to the point where it can look good.
Oh, sorry, my point just came back.
Go on.
This is where Pacific Rim after watching this too, that's where Pacific Rim is actually like keyed up a few notches in my book.
Okay.
'Cause even when it is CG, it just has that man in suit look most of the time, except when the monsters just get so insane they can't do it anymore, which also is effective. So
Yeah.
And is Pacific Rim a mixture? Is it all CG? I think it's
No,
CG,
there
but
was some model work.
Okay.
Like, do you remember the scene where it punches through the building?
Yeah.
And
right.
that was models because that was just too complex to do with CG at that time,
But
that budget.
that's a good one where it does have CG and stuff, but it also has that man in suit feel, which I guess is what he's going for. And he's quite effective at doing that. So
I guess the answer is, and this is a real cop-out answer, any of them can be good if they're made with passion.
yeah, it's like
Like these days, it's good to like iRobot. Sony thought they can just throw money at it and the effects would be good, but there's no heart. Or the Abrams Star Trek films, or like the Mutos or Cloverfield, all those monsters look the same because there's no like artistic vision,
right.
like passionately. So that you just end up with these same generic grey. The DC villains.
Yeah.
No artist
Blobs
is
of
going
brown.
like, I want this. They're just saying, ILM, give me a monster.
We need a monster.
So you just get cave trolls again and again and again.
I tend to think piles of poo, but
Yeah.
same difference.
Whereas
man.
the Monster Hunter movie is about to come out, and
Do you know how they're doing it?
it is pretty much all CG. But of course,
It is a video game, so I guess.
what I was going to say is Paul W. Anderson is not an expert filmmaker, artist, or whatever, but the monsters have already been made by very passionate Japanese game developers, right?
So just make it work.
They're going to be great because the passion has already been put into their designs and animation and stuff. He's just got to film his wife running around in front of them.
We hope so. Hopefully, you're not going to eat those words. But Yeah, it's like any tool can be used for good or bad. I can use my ICBM to, start World War III, or I can use it to launch a probe to Mars, right?
Yeah. So what we're really saying is that guns don't kill people, people kill people. Man, looks Sci-Fi Sanctuary is now officially a pro-gun podcast.
Monsters don't kill people, bad CGI does.
Monsters don't kill people, putting them in a wooden crate and dragging them to Mexico kills people.
Those on the path, remember the vow. Be aware and authentic to where you are now. Virile hides the marsh crocodile in veils of mystery.
It's another one of those period pieces. Of course it doesn't hold up, but it's fun.
This film was closer to the period it depicts than Peter Jackson's King Kong was to the period that depicts.
Well, yeah.
It's what I always think of like cowboy times. Oh, that's history. But it wasn't that long ago.
Not too long. And I don't know, the time...
There would have been people alive watching this film who remembered.
Honestly, watching this film,
cowboys.
I reminded myself a few times, oh, this is actually supposed to be like turn of the century. But
Yeah.
most of the time I actually was like, oh, this is like the 60s.
Well, yeah, I mean, I guess when you're in like those real rural places in this case Mexico, but like California, pretty much still looks like that, right? Most of it is still just valleys and deserts and stuff. So
Yeah, I don't think they'd gotten the whole drug cartel thing worked up yet by that point.
if there was a remake today, it would be a drug cartel thing, right?
It'd have to be, because the thing in Mexico,
No, but it doesn't have to be.
no, it's right south.
Mexico's got
It's
so much
right
stuff.
south of the border. It's only the part real close to America that's like seriously horrible.
Right.
It's like
Well, because the main industry there is sneaking things into America. I guess.
yes. But that's where I took this film to take place,
Yeah.
right? So you'd have to do it with that sort of stuff. Now, because, you go another 200 kilometers south, and I assume things aren't too bad. I haven't heard of Mexico City being too much of a hellhole, except for those the conquest of the Planet of the Apes.
I'm not going to comment or speculate, but I'm pretty sure you're being racist right now.
I don't know. I just thought Mexico City looks like a nice city.
I know.
They got pyramids. Yeah, I don't know. I have the impression Mexico City's a pretty cosmopolitan
I
place.
really want to go see a bunch of South American pyramids one day.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Central
no, I just
American.
like
Central
calling you out.
American. Who's racist now? Or at least who's bad at geography? I don't
Definitely me.
think. Okay, there we go.
There's some in South America too, right?
That's like Machu Picchu. So
Yeah.
they got cool stuff.
Not
and,
quite pyramids.
Tiwanaku. It's like not pyramids, but they do have cool stuff in South America. But,
Those are places I want to visit, but also I'm aware that they are places which are being ruined because so many people visit them.
yeah.
So I don't know if I do or not.
I think Tiwanaku might be a winner then. It's
Yeah.
way up high. Not so many people. I mean, Machu Picchu is too, but I think Tiwanaku doesn't have quite as many people.
Yeah.
It might not. Yeah, it's impressive in different ways. Let's put it that way. It's probably not just like, wow, look at that impressive. But then when you start thinking about what's there, you're like, whoa,
Well, and also sometimes it's more impressive if there's not a bunch of people.
that helps.
Like in Kyoto, the Kinkakuji is really impressive, but there's always 100 Chinese people between you and it, right?
Yeah.
Whereas you go to some obscure little temple, it's not quite as beautiful, but you get to actually enjoy it.
I thought it was funny. I think you saw this article too a few weeks ago where the Japanese tourists had been like stuck in Peru for like 6 months because of COVID, and was finally allowed to go to Machu Picchu all by himself.
Nice.
So he got to just go in by himself. I'm like, oh,
That sounds like a dream, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, apparently, this year has been actually the best time to visit, Kyoto, because everywhere's super quiet.
right. So I guess you never quite responded to my just saying it's a period piece. It doesn't really hold up. Do you want to?
It's one of those films because it wasn't ever successful,
Right.
But it's like a Ray Harryhausen passion project masterpiece, right?
It's a very charming film.
Yeah, I really enjoyed watching this film. I think anyone, if you here's a film about cowboys and dinosaurs, and that piques your interest, watch this because it delivers that real nicely.
It does, but you do need to go with a bit of that childlike mentality. If I'm like,
no one's
trying-
going into that concept without a childlike
I
mentality.
think some
right?
people do.
Yeah?
I think that's how Cowboys versus Aliens got made.
Yeah, but no one liked that.
I know.
I mean, audience-wise, right? If you hear this concept, you just want a fun.
Yeah.
Well, there's quite a bit of blood, but it felt to me like a family film.
Right. I think it's all that stop motion blood for the most part.
Apart from the guy right at the start.
I mean, basically, if you are down with the Harryhausen vibe, this is definitely in your
Yeah,
wheelhouse.
this deserves to be up there with his famous ones.
I was
like
surprised
Sinbad
I
and
hadn't
stuff.
heard of this one, you know?
Well, like I said, I'd heard of it. I'd never heard it was Harryhausen, but it deserves to be spoken about in the same breath as, Clash and Sinbad and.
I guess it doesn't have as much as some of those, but what is here is, like, really good.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's used quite sparingly, but it was like a full year of animating and stuff.
Yeah, because I feel like Sinbad and Argonauts has, like, a lot more, like, stuff going on.
Yeah, but because it's all like whack.
Yeah.
Like skeletons and Medusas, whereas this is just some dinosaurs, right?
Yeah, so that might be where those are the first go-tos. But again, Cowboys, dinosaurs, here we are, let's do it.
Yeah.
And we did it. Any more points you got?
Well, it was kind of a struggle to get hold of this one, wasn't it?
A little bit. I think you can get a DVD.
I think it
but
has had some home releases, but it's not like super common, I don't think.
I mean, about same as Son of Kong. Actually, Son of Kong, I think, is a little more hard to get hold of.
But then it's also just straight up on YouTube, which this isn't.
True. That helps. Well, I guess it's not quite. This one must have just gone public domain. I don't know. 50 years.
never
I think
quite
it's
sure.
50 years in the States. But, that's neither here nor there. Yeah, it was a little problematic getting hold of it. So, unlike Son of Kong, we can't just be like, yeah, watch it on YouTube. You'll have a good time. But you will have to probably do a little tracking for this one. But
recommended.
Again, if Harryhausen fires a synapse in your brain, it's worth it. If you're like, who's that? You probably are going to be like, this is a little stupid.
But yeah, I think overall recommended. Fun film.
Yeah, yes, it's a fun film.
It's the fun kind of stupid.
Right. I mean, this is Monster Month. I mean, what do you expect?
Yeah.
It's monster movies. It's a good monster movie.
Definitely.
And if people want to talk about more monsters, how do they get in touch with us?
Well, find us on Twitter at MLSFS We're also on Facebook, YouTube, Apple Podcasts. Just search Matt and Luke's Sci-Fi Sanctuary. And for the rest of December, you can enjoy Monster Month. We got some Godzilla for you. We got some Kong for you. We're going to have some Starship Troopers for you. And if that still doesn't satiate your need for monsters, you can check out my other podcast, Monster Mash. That's at Monster Mash Pod on Twitter. You'll probably have heard some episodes of that on this feed anyway. If you like smaller, cuter monsters, you can find my third and final podcast, Luke Loves Pokemon. That's on Twitter at Luke Loves PKMN. Those episodes are only like 5 minutes each, so you might as well. And if you've enjoyed the music you've heard listening to this podcast, you can find Matt's music at rovingsagemedia.bandcamp.com.
Okay. See, I figured out I should probably just shut up when this stuff happens.
Yeah, I'm depressingly good at that bit. I'm going to sell out.
Okay. And for the audience, and for the monsters, and for Gwangi.
Go back to the valley.
Next week, Son of Kong.
was in the wells. Done tore all my rags away. In the closing of red curtains, had to dream myself away. Silver mine explosions scorched all three of my eyes. In the fire of ascension, come away for the reprise. Glimpses of high manners, words of archetype, but his knife was glinting mellow, nothing new to cut. Silver mine explosions scorched all three of my eyes. In the fire of ascension, come away for the reprise.